Hey, what's up, Grandon? This is a quick demo video for you for your Fallen Order. Just got this done this morning and want to go over it with you before I drop it off, actually, because you're in my hometown. So, second guy I've ever done a Saber for in my hometown. But all done, so let's go over it. You know, this is installed with a Proffie V2. This is a 2-button setup. So this big guy right here, that's your activation, and then this small tactile back here is your auxiliary. Now, something that you're gonna find on this guy, there, you can hear the tactile feel. And I've got this same Saber and I've got the same exact problem. Your auxiliary switch actually wants to catch on the spring that's holding that mechanism together. So you've got like a button head or a button bolt kinda, and then where in this guy that you can see screws into it, and there's a spring in between them, and that keeps, you know, that tension on that switch. But it will get caught up on that spring sometimes. If you feel that, just kind of move it, just center it. I actually took the spring off of mine completely and it's free floating. I haven't installed it yet, but I just decided that's what I was gonna do, that I would just put up with it. But probably not the best thing to do, but since it's my personal Saber, that's what I chose to do. But I just wanted to point that out to you, that this is a common thing with all of these guys. So you do have your NeoPixel pins in here. You got a 7-pin setup. This does take a 1-inch diameter NeoPixel blade. So when you order your blade, make sure it's a 1-inch diameter. You got these 2 greeblies right here, right? So the one on the top, right next to your main switch, that was already glued in place when you gave it to me. But if you move over to the auxiliary side, this guy, I just JB welded this in, so that way you can pull it off if you ever need to. There's gonna be 2 grub screws in here. The middle one holds the metal sleeve that slides in and out right here. And then there's one all the way up here towards the emitter that I drilled and tapped for an 8/32, and that is your chassis retention. So I took that metal sleeve and I actually drilled through it so that I could get past the sleeve and grab onto your chassis. So between those 2 screws in here, one's holding the sleeve and one's holding the chassis, and everything's nice and tidy. Let's open up the handle right here. Handle comes off nice and freely. I know you wanted to do some weathering on here, so you know, you'll be able to weather this no problem. I did not put any of your greeblies on here, so you'll want to, if you're weathering this guy, you'll want to weather everything first and then put your greeblies on last. So here's your handle, and then here's your chassis. Over here in Arabesh, it says Fallen Order. And then I put in Arabesh over here, Solo Sabers, and then the Smuggler's Outpost logo. I'm a member of Smugglers, so I'd like to put that on my chassis. And then 28mm bass speaker here with removable battery. So the spring is gonna be the negative side of your battery. And then, so when you're putting your battery in, don't ever put it in backwards, you'll fry the board. And then the board, as you can see, is right here. So you have easy access to your micro USB slot right there, but in order to get to your SD card or to pop your board up, you are going to have to take this greebly off back here with the E6000 and loosen that set screw and pull this guy forward, and that's how that works. So let's throw a battery in it. I will be giving you a battery. This battery is extremely tight fit, so when you go to take this battery out, you're probably going to need like a thick guitar pick or like some piece of hard plastic that you're going to want to put on that positive side and pop her out. You're probably not going to be able to do it with your finger. I made sure that this was nice and tidy and it wouldn't fall out on you. So and we're just going to put our handle on. Everything slides over nice and smooth, but there is no tolerance here. I want to make sure that this battery is pressed right up against this handle when everything is on, and it's an extra added insurance, right, that the battery doesn't come out of the cradle. That it's not that it would anyway, but extremely tight fit, but nice and smooth, and it screws right on. A couple threads on here, no big deal. Now you have a blade retention right here. For the purpose of this video, I'm not going to use it. I've got a 1-inch test blade right here. We're just going to throw it in. This test blade has been sanded repeatedly over the course of the last year or so that I've had it, just to fit different Sabers. So, and it barely fits in here. So whatever blade you get, prepare to do some sanding, because this blade socket is a tight fit. Now this is the Cal Kestis blade style from Fett's library that you pointed out to me in your message, Facebook message. Auxiliary. Nice and loud. Force effect, double tap. We can twist this guy off just like that. And then I put that blade style on your first font. So the rest of the fonts will have the blade style that the stock fonts have. And we'll get to those by pressing the auxiliary when the blade is off. Just like that. We'll go through a few of these.
Smooth Jedi. Smooth Gray.
Fire blade.
Smooth Fuzz. Rogue Commander.
Now, if you don't want to do the motion, you can just tap on the activation, right? Just like that. And then to turn the blade off, just hold down the activation button. Just like that. I personally like the gesture controls.
Smooth Jedi. Smooth Gray.
We're just going to cycle through these so you can see that they work.
Smooth Fuzz. Rogue Commander.
A bit of a rainbow blade if that's your thing. This one hurts.
Teensy. Smooth Jedi. I wondered when you would return.
And then here we are back to your Fallen Order blade style. So that is your saber. Hope that came out the way you liked. Let me know if you got any questions and I can drop this off for you this afternoon. Thanks.